Hey, welcome. This is Dinkum. Now, if you've only just started this game and you're in this position of what the yeah, am I doing? I get that. In all fairness, after I started playing this game and getting to the start with, you are sitting there going, what have I got to do? You what? Huh? But I'm hoping that I'm just about to help you in your little journey on how to do stuff in this game. First off, unfortunately, follow the on-screen tutorial because it's painful. It really is. It's horrific. I don't like it and it just takes too long. But it's all the joys of life. What I want to do, first off, is you will be dumped at this jetty. This is the jetty, where anybody who's ever going to be coming into this place, this is like their landing strip, and it's like, yeah, well, it's all good. The first thing you need to do is you need to lay out the base tent. Ta-da. Then put up with some more painful dialogue. Now we've got our tent. Now your tent will basically be the grounds of your home all the way through this game. If you want to move position at any one point within this game, it's going to cost you 25 grand up front to change the position of your house. Make sure, in fairness, that the place you're going to put your tent down actually isn't that bad of an area. Now, more painful tutorial. After you've spent your life listening to her rub it on for a little while, then it's all good, basically. And now what you want to do is you need to be putting out this visiting site deed. This is basically a temporary house for anybody that is going to turn up to your island in the future and you're going to try and sway them to become part of your village. Make sure it's near, in all fairness, because the rest of this place you can sort of terraform as you go and be happy. This sort of like temporary home, which conveniently fits right where I want it to be there, which is amazing. Basically this will be for if you're going to get a quick visit from anybody, you know, being right next to it really does help. Or painful talking. Welcome to your journal. Milestones will give you points. Basically what you're looking for now is food. You're always looking for smaller, greener trees. The reason why you're looking for smaller, greener trees, they are fruit trees. I mean, apart from like coconuts, right? So as you can see, we're surrounded by these trees. These are called gum trees. These are like one of your main supplies of wood. And then this little tree here is a fruit tree. This is a kiwi tree. And you get 3 to 4 fruit per tree, depending on the crop you are actually going for. Now we can build a fire. So what you want to do with your stone is you want to go onto her crafting bench and click this. Oh, but you need a gum log. So we've got stone in our inventory. This is a good thing. Gum log, thankfully, gum log is always laying around. It's the only wood that lays around completely in this game. No other wood lays around like it because all the others need to be cut down. Gum wood is basically your bare necessity of life. And what feels like a million years, I think she's finally stopped talking to us. So first thing I want to do, we've picked up a couple of logs. Now we need to craft a campfire. All good. Next, with this campfire, what you can do is pop it down. Now, I'm going to pop it down here because it does help for actually having this as a open area for tutorial. Now, what you can do with food, this is a bush lime. It's going to heal you a specific amount of points, and the little dot that's over there next to the actual orange line is your energy bar, and the circle is your stomach. Your stomach is divided into 3 sections, which means if you eat 3 bits of food or any food whatsoever, you are full. Alright, at the moment I am empty. Now I could sit here and eat all 3 limes and be like, yay, check me out, and then I'll be like, okay, cool. The best thing you can do, in fairness, is to actually cook your fruit. The reason why you cook your fruit is because it actually lasts you longer, so you actually get more energy and more life from a cooked fruit than you would having a bog standard fruit. I know it's a really weird one, isn't it? I'm cooking kiwis and it's going to get me better. And now we've got this. Alright, cool. So, this thing, I'm going to explain a few little things on the ye olde basic line that we've got here. Number 1, we have a bug net. The bug net is for catching, I know, you guessed it, bugs. Alright, basically, you'll see butterflies and things just floating around, minding their own business, and you can catch them. Now, you can't catch birds, unfortunately, with a net, but I've given it a good go, and I haven't been able to. But with the inevitable arrival of John, my pure advice right at this point in this game is to take your bug net and catch as many butterflies as possible. The reason why is because money is something you need quite early on in this game. But whilst you're catching it, your points, which is your evolution points, these milestone points, these are your currency for unlocking licenses within the game. Currency is basically needed to unlock extra things in this game, including inventory slots and all the joys of life within Dinkum. Now, my piece of advice for right at the beginning is to pick as much crap up as possible. And I really do mean this. I mean, fill your inventory with everything. These will all stack as well. So if you're picking up a scallop shell, that acts as one. And then if you pick up another scallop shell, it acts as it's actually caught 2 or 3 in this case, because I picked up 1 before. Now this means that you can pick as much up as you possibly can, and you can sell it when the inevitable John turns up. Now when he does turn up, flog it to him for as much as humanly possible. When you start this game, butterflies are one of the most valuable things that you can get hold of, and it's very, very easy to make money from. If you catch things like a fly, you can sell this as well. Anything you can pick up and basically use as an item can be sold to John. Things that he values more than anything early on in the game is literally butterflies and bugs, because he gives you actually a bit of advice on this a bit later on. These are really handy to have, but you need an axe to open them, or a spear, or a pickaxe. So I'm hoping we've got some bits in here. Looks like I need to carry on with the tutorial, so I need to go into my tent. I need to put down my sleeping bag, and we're all good. Now what I can do is I can go off and continue to gather. It will cost you energy to get across water things like this, and this, you'll find out that you need this a little bit later on to get around the map. Unfortunately, these are a little bit broken, and you will need items to get into these, and basically you're missing parts. You need to place items, and these green items can only be found by opening up the barrels, like the one that's on the beach over there, or metal detecting later on. So my advice is, again, metal detect and pick things up. Anything that says harvest, pick it up. Early on in the game, seriously, pick up as much as you can and flog it to John. These stuff you don't really need until later on in the game anyway, so this is more than acceptable to sell as well. Or you can just plant them and make things look a bit pretty. That's purely up to you and however you want to play this game. The next day. Push E to rise from your grave. And this should be John. Now first off, before I want to talk to John, I actually want to go and click over here quickly, pick up a few more logs and some bits and pieces. Anything that's laying on the floor, like I said, pick it up. And every other couple of days or so, things will just respawn randomly in the game. Grass, bushes, rocks, ore, trees will regrow, shells will find their way onto the beaches again. You'll never run out of stuff. That's just how this game is. This is John. Basically, if you've got anything that as we've just gone through it all, you've picked up loads of stuff off the floor. Now you're going to sell it to him. And like I said, you want to catch butterflies, bugs, anything. The reason why is because you're going to sell it all. None of this stuff really gets used for crafting. It is mainly just an income. But if you sell him butterflies until the museum, when you get the museum, then hand them in. But when you get butterflies for this guy, your money goes up exponentially. There you go, 3,194. That 3,000 comes from the butterflies. The 194 comes from all the other crap you picked up. Alright, cool. So we got ourselves a couple of quid. We're all right. Now, as you've just been reading, you can't buy anything. The reason why you can't buy anything is because, well, you have to talk to Fletch. Alright. I'm going to explain your licenses, so all you have to do is push yes I do. Basically, everything you want to do in this game involves a license. Mining, logging, upgrading your inventory, everything. And this basically means that you need to spend lots and lots of your hard-earned coinage and your tickets with Fletch. And here we are. Welcome to most of your life on Dinkum. Going into this and going, I can't afford to do anything. The best things you need to do to start off with is a mining license, a logging license, and if I'm going to be completely and brutally, utterly, ridiculously honest, everything on this list up until you get to here. Later on these get a bit more expensive, but then you'll sort of learn to prioritize them yourself quite quickly, and then you'll be okay. Now, being that we've got a mining license and we've got a logging license, I can now buy the pickaxe off of John, and I can buy the axe off of John. So, got you basically set up. Now what you're going to need to do, unfortunately, and this is the unfortunate part, it now comes down to you. You're going to have to sit here and basically work your way through the game, building up your little town, village, or whatever you're going to aim for in this life. Now, what you can do with your newfound axe and your newfound pickaxe is hammer open this. And you will find some of those green items I was telling you about. Right at the beginning of this game, you're not really going to need many of them. But you do need specific items to unlock the Teleportation Tower. Unfortunately, there are 4 of these towers, and you need at least 2 of them to be working first. So, one of them will be in the west, one of them will be in the north, one of them will be in the east, and the other one's down south. That's the joys of this game. And these green items are needed to fix them. So you need a green circuit boards, you need 3 green circuit boards, batteries, discs, wire, and slate. Now we have got 1 piece of wire, but hold your horses. Getting around this level, actually getting around the world, doesn't really take a lot out of you. I mean, the only thing that it really does for you is you'll be spending a lot of time doing the same thing over and over again, running around picking things up and being, hey, check this out, I found this, and that's all good. Just don't get eaten by a shark and you'll be completely fine. Now what we need to do is we need to sort of advance our skills a bit. This is how we advance our skills. We got 205 points, and now we should have 305 points, and that is all good. Okay, so Fletcher's given us our first load of money because we need to buy a table saw. The downside to the table saw is, well, you can only get it from John, and it will cost you 5,200. We haven't got 5,200, so we need to make some dink. Now, before we go any further, things that will kill you in this game. Anything with major big teeth, like sharks, crocodiles, and big sharks, and big crocodiles, and Tasmanian devils that spit fire. That sort of thing. Oh, and these giant birds that look like emus, but they're not. They're called cassowaries. They'll have a good go at you as well. Now, what we want to do is we want to basically pick up loads and loads and loads and loads of stuff. At the beginning, you're like you want to be more like a magpie in yourself. You want to click around on everything, pick everything up. You're harvesting, you're picking up, you're basically upping your points. This is why I say everything is a goal. Go for it. Pick everything up you can. So your basic axe as well. This is the difference between your basic axe and your next upgrade axe, which is a copper. This is the only tree you can sort of cut down. Anything that looks a little bit more pale and a little bit white, you can cut down with your basic axe. This one you won't be able to touch because you need an upgraded axe to be able to go through hard wood. Here's the joys. Now, the best way to do wood cutting and so on and so forth is by cutting down the tree but leaving the stump. The trees will regrow over time, so massively don't really worry about it. It's okay. It's always good, in fairness, later game to have sort of like everything nearby you. So in my game, I have an orchard, so with all the trees and all the fruit and different pieces being built all the time. And the reason why I wanted that is because I didn't really want to go traipsing around the map every 5 days just to go and find some more food. So I wanted it close and local, and these are things that you'll upgrade as you go through. Bugs are a really good way of making money. I just caught a peacock spider. You know, one of the most poisonous spiders in the world. It's all good. Pick up everything. Come here, butterfly. Now, dingoes, these little doggies, they won't attack you unless you attack them first. It's the other big ones you got to watch out for. The ones that are absolute... I think we've got enough stuff now. Alright, let's head back to base. Wherever the base may be. Now, if you do get lost, the best thing to do is to highlight an area within your campsite and it will glow on the map. The thing above me, you can see the little glowy triangle. Yeah, that's where we need to go. And on the way back, with my pockets full, I can only pick up specific things. Mainly things that I already have in my inventory. A stack load is 777. You can't go any higher than that, but you can have more stacks. That's up to you. The best thing about that is that you can get more stuff. And it's all good. I've been lucky. I found 2 rue signs in the space of a few minutes. It took me ages to find one in my actual game. Always make note also of where things are on your map. This is a good place to be. This is ore, this is tin, this is copper, everything you need to be. The downside is that big thing that looks like a log over there is a crocodile. A little bit dangerous. But the plus side to this is that we have ore. So what we can do on here is we can click on the map and actually label this off to somewhere that might be important to us. If I label it with the diamond, then it means that what we're close to is something that's worth me coming back to. Time to sell all my stuff. Now I've never actually sold a rue sign before, so I'm going to give it a go today. Rue signs are worth quite a lot of money, aren't they? So with 20 grand burning, that's 10 grand a piece for a rue sign. So if you do find them, worth the money, definitely worth the money. I've never sold mine. Now I'm going to sell mine. And then what we can do, if you're really sort of worried about stuff, to start with, this is the only sort of item I really want to keep, the green one. But we haven't got any storage either. So the best thing we can do is that, in all fairness, flog everything. Apart from ore. Ore is always good to keep around. 11 grand. So now we did, what, 35,000 now? Now we need to buy, the table saw. So we're going to buy this up. And this is the start of your workshop. So the table saw, if you're a little bit like me, you want everything close to you. The thing that I would do in this situation would be to clear these trees and actually have a square out front of where I'm going to put stuff. But, as I'm not really worried, because I'm just here to show you things that are going on, here's my table saw, and here is a gum log. You basically insert it on, and check it out. Day one work. It's all good. My advice would be to cut all your logs prematurely. The reason why is because it takes a really long time to cut like 140 logs, and it gets really boring as well. Not a big fan of that, so try and do it as often as possible. So if you pick up like 10, get them cut, chuck them in your inventory and be happy. The reason why I'm saying that is because I spent a very long time cutting 150 logs in one go, and I was bored pooless by the end of it. Into here. Now we've got all these 5 things I need to do. There we go. Bug collection done. And harvester. Awesome. We've got 925. Now the best part about having 925 is, well, now we've got to go through a bit of this. So we need specific things. Oh, yeah, we've already done it. Mine license. Now we can go and get some ore. We're all right. Now, after this, what I would personally do is I'd go for excavation. The reason why I'd go for excavation is because this is the way of, like, going down the whole route of, like, treasure hunting. And treasure hunting is a really good way of making money. I'm also going to go for building license. And now we can build bridges. Now, what we need to do is, first off, we need to cut down a tree because we need logs. Now, this works quite well for me. If I want to build this area out and I want it in my like workshop, I'm going to cut down the tree that's in front of my tent. I need stone because we need to build a fire. We got a campfire. We got 1 of 3 stone, so I need more stone. Over there on the top, you can see what I actually need. All right, and now we need a few more tin ore. Now, we haven't got any more ore near us, so we're going to have to go back to where we were before. Now, if you remember, when we marked it on the map of where the ore is, that's where we're going to head. And anything loose on the floor that you see, like gum logs and bits and pieces, pick them up, it's all good. So now we've got all the items we needed to actually build what we're going to be requested to build. We're going to go and talk to Fletch. That means more droning on about whatever she's talking about before we actually start making anything. Okay, cool. So this is the thing you're going to need to build. Stone, campfire, tin, craft. Awesome. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of a tip before we go on and do the furnace stuff. Now, we've got the ability to use a spade. We also have seeds and fruit. Now, this was one big thing that caught a few people off guard when we first started. We were trying to figure out how to plant stuff. Oh, we need a hoe. We need to do this. We need to do that. Actually, it's a little bit more simple than that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the edge of this border as my tutorial for this section. How to plant stuff. So I'm going to take my bush limes and I'm just going to throw them on the floor. And now I'm going to use my spade. The plus side to this game, because now we've got the excavation license and we can now sort of just mess around, is that we can actually just build stuff up. We can actually make gardens by doing this. You create the world by digging it and terraforming it yourself. And this is actually, I really like this little sort of thing in the game. It makes the, I don't know, you get an idea of planning things out a bit better. And now after a few days, they're going to grow. And then after a few more days, they will start producing fruit. Which means you've now just produced your own section of food, which is amazing. Alright, and now grass seed. A grass seed in itself is a little bit more like hard to get on by. You can only get grass seed by cutting the tufts of grass, and you don't get one every single time. And basically what you do is you just fill in the holes of grass, and over time grass will grow there as well, so you can start making the whole area green, and it's all nice and good. Okay, now we need to build the smelter. Now I'm going to take my tin ore. You need 5 tin ore or 5 copper ore or 5 iron ore in order for you to use this smelter. And what will happen is over a little period of time you'll get a tin bar or a copper bar or an iron bar, depending on what you put in there. You can't use these for cooking stuff, but you can buy a barbecue a bit later on, which does really help. Whilst this is cooking though, the best thing you could do is actually grab yourself a cup of tea. Because it does take a little while. But there we go, tin bar, woo! And now we can take the tin bar to Fletch. I don't really want to. Yeah, you're proving yourself, yes, I really have. Okay, and here we go. The last things you need to do when you've got a bar of ore. What you can do now is you can build nails and a box. So the first thing you need to do is you need to make nails. You'll get 8 nails per 1 tin of bar. 1 tin bar, not 1 tin of bar. And then you can make yourself... Oh, no, you need palm wood. So now we need to go and find a palm tree. Now, palm trees are in specific parts of the game. What we're looking for is greener areas. So there might be some here, or there might be some here, or there might be some way up here. We're going to go and check out this section first to find a palm tree. Now the plus side to running around like a blue-ass fly, trying to do everything you get told to do, is that you get to explore. That means you get walkabout token. Walk a certain amount of time, walk a certain amount of areas, and you get points, and it's lovely, and it's yummy, and it's yay. But I do like to carry my net around quite a lot because you get to go and catch butterflies and bugs and bits and pieces. And there we go, palm trees. Oh yay. Right, so that's where we need to go. That's what we're going to do. And that's where we're going to head. Now, when it comes to like raised areas like this, if you dig into it, it'll take the top layer of the dirt off. And we can now make ourselves a little staircase. That is a cassowary. And those things are lethal. They'll chase you until they really want to kill you. So be wary of them. Don't go too close to them. They're not very nice. Because we're right at the beginning of this game, getting hit by those hurts a little bit more than normal. The plus side to this game though, and I will say that when you die, you won't lose all your stuff. I mean, you'll lose durability on all your stuff, but you won't lose your stuff. And that's a positive. So we're going to head back to the flashing tent. On the way back, obviously, pick up bits and pieces. I'm going to take my palm tree. We're going to stick it over on here. Like I said, cut all your wood to start with because it gets more of a pain in the ass the more you get. Try and do this as much as possible to get rid of it. Some recipes will need you to have actual wood parts to use. Finding the trees gets a little bit easier with time, which is nice. So another thing that we can do, obviously, because we've built our little grove of lime trees, and we've got seeds to actually build palm trees. What we can do is we can actually build palm trees coming off of this as well. So you take your seeds that you would have got for your palm trees and pop those in the floor as well. Take my spade, and this means that this resource will grow closer to home, which means next time I go to cut down a palm tree, I might get more seeds out of it, which means I can grow another tree. Or what you can do is cut it down, leave the stump in, so that tree grows and you get a seed from it as well. So you're growing more trees. And this is a really, really good, quick way of making things grow very fast in your game. Always look to growing stuff nearby. I would say that's like big point number 1. If you've got fruit, if you've got anything, grow it nearby because it will help you really quickly down the line when you need more fruit for food and so on and so forth. So we're going to take our bananas, stick them in the ground as well. And there we go. Now you can dig holes. If you just dig holes in the floor, you can plant stuff as well. I mean, I could take this off, put this over here, grab a bush line, throw it in the hole, and then pick up the soil I just had and put it over top. There we go. We've got a tree on top as well. But yeah, this is the best way to really go for it. To start with, just try and get as much as you can close as you can, because if it's like where the tents are and I've got trees growing over here, it means that when I go to expand my town, I can actually work my town around what I've been growing, which is quite handy. Alright, cool. Soil mover. And don't forget, the more you do stuff, the more tokens you get, the more licenses you can buy. Now, one warning to bring in stuff. Actually, this is a good point to show you this. If I buy this bulletin board, I get the deeds to put a bulletin board in the game. That's going to cost the town 10,000 coin, which is quite a lot of money for a board. Now, in order for you to wipe the debt off, you go to this little thing on the back of her tent and you click on it, and it'll ask you to consider donating. Now, if you're playing with your friends, obviously 10 grand doesn't take too long to do, and as you're buying stuff throughout the game, your friends will help you pay the debts as well, unless they're gits and they don't want to help you. That means you need to find lots of money very, very quickly. I'll cover that in another video. Now what we have got is we've got the deed for the bulletin board. This is really handy, because now what's going to happen is that anybody who becomes a resident of this village, your town or your island, can put jobs on here for you to actually do. And that means Fletch is going to bombard you with stuff to do, and you'll get John, and everyone else will be like, hey, you need to work for me because, well, reasons. So, the last thing you need to do is convince John to stay in this house, in this town. Now, I always find the best way to talk to these people is, first off, ask them how they're doing today, then ask if they need something. Alright, we need to talk to John Boy here. Wanted to chat. Need anything? I do have a logging license. 4 gum logs? Yeah, we can do that. That's going to help. Alright, pull out the axe. It's chopping time. We have 9 because I could have given him the other funds before. So here we go. Now this is the thing, is as you're going to do more jobs for more people, they normally pay you in clothing. I found that I've actually got a big box full of clothes in my original game, and I'm really full of stuff I don't really need. But for poos and giggles, let's put on my polka dot pants. Now I'm wearing pajamas. Okay, I'm going to stop this here. This has been about the first hour of your Dinkum adventure. This is how you're going to start, and I get a bit of forewarning. If you ever want to move any buildings around it, it's going to cost you 25 grand. I've spent in a region of 100,000 moving bits and pieces around to suit where I want them to be. So plan out your towns accordingly. Now when it comes to building anything, it's always best to try and plan a little bit ahead so you know what you're going to be doing. And this will turn into something a little bit like this is my normal game. This is the one that people have been watching on my streams. It took me 100,000 to move those 2 houses around, and to move the tent, and to put the mine in. It took me a long time to do all of this, which is why I use a mod to pause time, so I don't have to worry about time passing in order for me to do all this stuff. It's taken time to plan it all out and work around, and at the end of the day, it's good to actually have a little bit of a plan to do stuff in this game. If you're going to take your time, take your time. Don't rush the process. Try and figure it out as you go along. And like I said, if you get everything close to your house, like chickens, my workshop, my trees, my fruit and veg and all the other stuff, it's all close by now, so I don't have to worry. This has taken, in fairness, a fair few hours to do. And this is why I'm sort of doing this little tutorial, for you to sort of learn the basics, to get going, and basically this game will guide you through, and it'll be to a point you'll go, oh, I know what I'm doing, don't worry. So hopefully this video has helped you out a little bit. And in all honesty, I really, really hope to see you all in the world of Dinkum enjoying this one. Because at the end of the day, it's a fun little game. It's got, you know, it's still early access. There are things that are going to be added into this over time. But at the end of the day, it's all good. And that just makes it more wholesome. It's a little bit like Animal Crossing, a little bit like Stardew Valley. Easy to pick up, easy to play, and fun to master. So thank you very much for coming by. This has been Hybridsteel. If you have enjoyed this video or anything else I do on this channel, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe and notification button below for all other updates, and I'll be back here with a brand new video, live stream or whatever else I do on the channel. Until then, thank you very much for kicking by. Peace out, have fun, enjoy everything you guys do. Check out the video over there if you're really interested in watching more. Boom! Fist bump to you.